Can you explain what an incel is?
So an incel is just like someone who is involuntarily celibate. That loser sitting on Reddit for 23 hours a day with Cheetah dust and empty Mountain Dew cans all around them. And it just has a real stank smell that is involved with these people. I'm just gonna paint you an image, and like the fedora is a little crusty, and the neck beard is strong, but the facial hair is weak, and there's a bald spot in the back, and you can just see the fedora just hanging on for dear life. And he's sitting there muttering under his breath about how like Jessica Alba's ugly.
Right.
You know,
literally,
like
yeah.
that's what you're talking about.
Can you explain what an incel?
When I was a kid, there were different insults, especially towards men. Calling someone a virgin was a classic. Get out of your parents' bedroom was another. But the most predominant one was calling a man a virgin. Especially a virgin geek. Stop playing with your video games. You're going to end up being a virgin. Do not read so many comic books. Only virgins do that. And as time moves on, you have third wave feminism. And third wave feminism dictates that you shouldn't shame people for their sexual choices. Right? Like there's more to a person than sexuality, basically. And they removed words like attention whoring, like they consider that to be something incredibly offensive, so we should remove it from our vocabulary. And they also, surprisingly, were consistent with this, and they decided that calling a man a virgin is also something offensive that shouldn't be done. And the thing is, like, when you remove something from the human language that society still wants to use, they just come up with a different term. So they came up with the concept of an incel. Now, in the beginning, the incels were actually part of a group. Like, they were on online forums, and they were on various places. And some of them actually blamed women for them not finding a significant other. It was kind of like going into a place and wallowing into your own misery. Like, instead of like trying to improve your life or finding out, you know, what you can do in order to be more attractive, they just gave up, and they would talk with other people about how women are the problem and how they are perfect. So that is like where the incel thing started. But as it got popularized in the media, the people who wanted to use virgin to shame men now just use the word incel. And it kind of lost all of its meaning. But I suppose the interesting part is why do people shame men? Like why is it even happening? Why is someone else concerned with what a man does? And the answer is that society has expectations. And this is true to any society that has ever been created throughout the history of mankind. All of them have expectations. The dreaded gender roles, as the left likes to call them, are a thing that's not being taught. It's part of human nature. Like you are expected to do certain things, and if you're a man, you're expected to behave like a man. And if you're of a certain age and you don't manage to get a girlfriend, then society will believe that you have somewhat failed at that expectation, because if you were a man, you wouldn't be involuntarily celibate. The thing is that when it comes to women, we also had expectations for them. In fact, in Romania, especially around the rural area, and I'm pretty sure like in the United States, if you talk to your grandma or, you know, someone that's more older, they will tell you that the women did have expectations. And if, for instance, you are a woman that's not married by the age of 30 or 40, that was a big red flag. And this is true in most cultures. Like if you look at China, India, Middle East, like it is a big red flag However, I guess like the way things work in the United States and the West is that you're not allowed to call it out. So like if you see a writer for Jezebel that's in her mid 40s and she's surrounded by cats, you're not supposed to say anything that would bring any shame to this lady, because she herself probably feels a lot of shame, but like you're not supposed to tell her that, right? But when it comes to men, they lack that protection, so people are more likely to just say what they think. And if you see a man that never had sex, then it is okay, I guess, for current culture to shame him and to call him an incel, or I guess they don't use the word virgin anymore for tradition's sake. But like, you know, again, like it's nothing wrong with not having a relationship. And the problem is that instead of like trying to help these men, like tell them how to improve themselves, I've noticed that there is literally no support. Like if you're not lucky enough to have a father that can teach you how to be a man, there is nothing that I can think of that is part of the mainstream culture where you can watch that and get some, you know, actual improvements in your life. And unfortunately, this is why men flock to Andrew Tate. Like, you got a lot of young men who want to improve themselves, but nothing is working. And some of the stuff that Andrew Tate is saying is true. Like, you need to go work out at the gym. You need to have more confidence. You need to be supportive. Unfortunately, the way Andrew Tate behaves is not a way that I would want my son to behave, right? Like, I don't want him going around hoarding himself by having, like, multitude of girlfriends, smoking cigars, and thinking that that is how a virtuous life is supposed to be like. I don't think that is okay. But like other things that Andrew Tate is saying, again, like going to the gym, working out, focusing on yourself, that is true. You know, having respect for yourself, that is true. For young men, I would recommend, like if you genuinely want to improve yourself, read on the philosophy of Stoicism. There are a couple of YouTube channels that have like really great advice on how to behave like a Stoic. And I think like if you manage to apply some of those teachings in your life, especially if you truly understand them and you believe in them, it will actually lead to a significant improvement in how you see yourself and how other people treat you. So the solution, instead of shaming men, I would say, what exactly do you do to help them, right? Because it is sad. But the thing with society, by the way, and this is why I think like they're panicking, is that there were two types of men. You have the men that are very angry, and they do not know how to channel that anger. And the solution for that was join the military, right? Like you have a recruitment officer. It has like an ushikushi lady in the background. And it's basically, okay, you join the military, you gain respect. Women like a man in uniform. You're going to manage to get women. And in a way, it was true, because like if you manage to survive the ordeal, you actually learn discipline. You actually learn how to channel your anger in a productive way for society. And women do love a man in uniform. So like that was a solution for angry young men, to instill discipline in them. The main problem is that now you have men that aren't angry. They're just disconnecting from society. This is a process that's happening in Japan. They're like, this lady has described, you know, sitting on Reddit with their Cheetos and the smell and whatever. But those men are actually happy, some of them. You know, they're sitting at home, they're playing their video games, and they're not interested in women. They're not interested in engaging, right? They're voluntary celibates. And society has no answer for them. They don't know what to do. Literally, like, they're panicking. Because, again, like, those people aren't necessarily in the workforce. They're sitting at home getting welfare. They don't need a lot of money because they don't have a family. So they're just sitting at home playing MMOs or whatever. And the government is panicking. Like, they literally do not know how to reach these men because nothing interests them. Like, you show them a picture of a sexy woman, they're like, I don't care. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.